Well, hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. We have weather in 5 days in 5 minutes as we get you going on this Monday. And we've got winter weather advisories up for all of Pennsylvania, the western counties of southern New Jersey, and many of the counties along and north and west of the Turnpike for the northern half of New Jersey. The counties that are surrounding New York City itself, Long Island, and South Coastal Connecticut, not in a winter weather advisory, at least not yet. And we have advisories that are also up for the Hudson Valley, across into Connecticut, and that area is actually going to expand as we go into tonight, covering much of upstate New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, and we'll also see it continue in parts of southeast Pennsylvania. There's a little bit of an empty space here in south central Pennsylvania, and that could be how the warm front with this low lines up. And then we've got the advisories continuing as you go further to the west of Harrisburg and toward Altoona, and then, of course, north from there and on up into western New York. The first shot of precip has pretty much played through, and we're going to check that out now on the radar. And you see it here. It's become very narrow. We watched this last night. Actually looked like a fairly impressive area of snow that moved through the Ohio Valley with some 3 to 6 inch snow amounts in many places. Some places even got more than that. But the first piece is weakening and actually shifted a little bit further to the south, moving across Maryland and Delaware and into southernmost New Jersey. Then there's a little bit of a gap. This is as of 8 a.m. Eastern time, by the way. And then there's a little bit of gap, and you see some lighter precip up in northern Pennsylvania and at least aloft in parts of northern New Jersey. I really don't think we're going to see much more during the day today. We're going to wait for energy to fire up to our south and west, and that's going to bring in the next round for tonight into tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be very tenuous. If you look at these readings at just before 7:30 this morning, we were in the upper 20s and lower 30s. A lot of areas below freezing. There's colder air that's lodged just to the north in northeast PA and up the Hudson Valley and further north up into Connecticut and Massachusetts. And that cold air really is not going to be going anywhere today. So when we look at the surface map, there's this lead low that's coming out now that we're not going to see much with, and then there's going to be a second low that comes out behind this. And meanwhile, to the north, we have very weak high pressure, but it is there sitting north of Lake Ontario. One of the things we want to watch for late this afternoon or this evening is that if that high holds on just a little bit more, it could mean for a slightly colder atmosphere in places. And we're talking about the difference of maybe about a degree or so. And that could make a huge difference in terms of the outcome when that second round of precip gets underway. So looking at some of the weather models here. So as we said, that first burst is pretty much done. Now we're going to go into this evening, and you'll notice at 7 o'clock there really isn't too much happening, but between 7 and 11 p.m., we start to get this area of snow, sleet, and freezing rain on the northern end of this that forms over the northern half of Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, touching Long Island into the Hudson Valley and southern Connecticut. And then that sleet, snow, rain line just kind of hovers around New York City to just north and west of Philadelphia. It really doesn't go very far from there during the overnight and on Tuesday. And then finally, we'll see this low begin to pull out later in the day tomorrow. But many inland areas may wind up seeing freezing precipitation for a good part of this particular event. So in terms of ice accumulation, because I think ice is really the bigger deal here as far as the wintry weather that we'll experience from this. And we're looking at some patches of as much as 0.2 of an inch of ice. That's something to pay attention to here in parts of northern New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, mainly along and north of Route 78, going southwest from there. You got that little gap in south central PA for some reason. It might be just the orientation of the warm front, but I'd still pay close attention to temperatures. And then it picks up again as you go west of Harrisburg and Gettysburg into western Maryland, some places getting as much as a third of an inch. Now, as far as snow is concerned from this, for the second burst, there could be anywhere from as little as a coating to as much as 1 or 2 or maybe even some 3-inch amounts. And I'm just going to kind of draw a line where I think, you know, the accumulating 1-inch snows might be for tonight, somewhere in this zone from there north and west. For those areas south of here, again, the primary concern is going to be the ice, at least when we get that first burst. And then after that, you saw that the area of ice does expand across much of southern New England, and that is going to, you know, along and north of I-95. So this whole area here is going to be going to have some problems. And if you're on that southern edge of that, I would pay really close attention to the temperatures this evening to see where they are, because that could certainly impact the forecast going forward. So we're going to have a busy day ahead. Make sure you've got the meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app downloaded from Google Play or from the App Store, and Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman. They're both free. You can check the latest National Weather Service snow forecast maps and ice forecast maps on there. They update pretty much automatically and can prove quite useful on a day like today. And of course, we'll have additional posts. You'll get notifications if there's any changes with regards to the weather forecast. And you can, by the way, it automatically defaults to your location as far as current conditions and your National Weather Service forecast, which is very important. The forecast that's put out is not put out by weather models. There's human input, and my stuff is on there too, which is obviously, I'm a human, rumors to the contrary. So we'll have our regular live stream coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Weather in 10 for Patreon members, we'll have that later today after we get the afternoon model cycle in. And that's for Patreon members only, patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Cioffi if you're interested. Got a lot of snow removal guys on there, and they seem to be pretty happy with it. So if you're in the snow removal business, you need a forecaster that you could rely on, or a forecast that you could rely on. You might think about it. It's not expensive. Okay, have a great day, everybody.